before the mountains were brought forth, or ever thou hast formed the earth and the world, even from everlasting to everlasting, thou art God. Thou turnest man to destruction and sayest, return ye children of men. For 1,000 years in thy sight are but as yesterday, when it is past, and as a watch in the night. Thou carriest them away with a flood. They are as asleep. In the morning they are like grass which groweth up. In the morning it flourisheth and groweth up. In the evening it is cut down and withered. For we are consumed by thine anger, and by thy wrath are we troubled. Thou hast set our iniquity before thee, our secret sin in the light of thy countenance. For all our days are passed away in thy wrath. We spend our years as a tale that is told. The days of our years are 80 years and 10, and if by reason of strength there be 80 years, yet is their strength labor and sorrow, for it is soon cut off, and we fly away. Who knoweth the power of thy anger? Even according to thy fire, so is thy wrath. So teach us to number our days, that we may apply our hearts unto wisdom. That verse 10 again. The days of our years are 80 years and 10. And if by reason of strength there be 80 years, there is the strength, labor and sorrow, for it is soon cut off, and we fly away. The days of our year. This Psalm 90 was a psalm written by Moses. Now when you look at the Psalms in the Bible, all of the Psalms were not written by David. But he wrote a lot of them, but not all of them. This is one that was not written by him, Psalm 90. Most times, a lot of us preachers take time at funerals to read the psalm and to explain about life to people. But we will come in for in a service and they leave, and that's it. But what the teachings of this psalm is for all times, and therefore the truths from the psalm could be learned at any time in life. What we have to look at, the days of our years. The days of our years. As you and I go forward in this year, now the year is running because we are already May, and we are moving quickly in May. Maybe we're in a quick time. But there are many things in our minds that clamor for attention. Many things in our thoughts that require earnest considerations. What will the next few months bring in the light of all the things that are happening around? What kind of year the remainder will be for us the next few months? We're thinking in terms like that. Will the months ahead bring for me personally as an individual personal victory? Or will it bring defeat? Will we grow or will we shrink as we face the months ahead of us? The psalmist says in verse 10, 10 is a man's life to be measured then by only length of days? Question we may ask. Or is a man's life rather to be measured by the quality of his heart and spirit? Now every day, for all of us, the months ahead of us will present to every one of us choices, a succession of choices that we have to make. But one of the things that all of us know, we are in the world, but we do not have to live as the world lives. We do not have to let the world decide for us exactly how we do things. No, we are surrounded by evil on so many sides, but we don't have ourselves to be evil. In other words, we don't let the world live in us. We are in the world, but not of the world. Amen. So it means that you don't have to be evil. But you know something? Every day we choose. Many people around us will be enslaved by sin. I want to say that again. Many people around us will be enslaved by sin. But you know, they can be free. And the only way they can be free is by allowing God to free them. You and I just can't free ourselves from wickedness like that. God, in mercy, had to free us from it. So in the days that is ahead, we must let our dull moments become less and less, and make for us the noble moments become even greater. Let me say that again. This can only happen as you make strong resolution not to permit moral judgment to be wrapped by secular standards. No. You know, when you look at human society as it operates, what you realize is that there are two levels. There is the bread and butter level, where we face the political, the social, the economic claims and necessities of life. But also, second, is that deep level where the soul is confronted by God and accepts divine challenges and is supported by the mercies and privileges of His grace. And that's where the problem lies. Many of us are so tied up in wanting to do things ourselves that we fail to recognize that it's through His grace that we can do even things better. So we can't rely fully on ourselves, but rely upon Him to help us to do it. Now everybody around have religion. As I move around, I realize a lot of people have religion enough to have them crazy and say preaching what they mean. They have religion, yes, and most of their religion, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that. But what they do not have is Christ. So I may confront somebody, I'm a Baptist. One may confront me, I'm an Adventist. One may confront me, I'm a Jehovah. I'm a Catholic. But all of us have religion. But religion is man's way to God. Salvation is God's gift to man. And some have religion, but they have no love. Not knowing who I am, I was in conversation with some religious folks. And when the presenter spoke to me from the religion that was talking to me, you will assume that I knew nothing of the Bible. One. You will assume that he had been to heaven and came back to earth before he spoke to me. And I just watching at him. I'm quoting from the Bible, and quoting here, and quoting there for me, and I'm just watching at him. When you want to say to my man, if you know who you're talking to, I could teach you this Bible. But nevertheless, you teach me. And I can see the pride that's over him. That's not what God bless us for in this world. To look down on people and treat them anyhow. No! That's why the grace of God lifts us up. That's why love makes a difference in this world. But there are those out there that have too much religion. But you know what they don't have? Christianity. Let me say this. Man will know that we are Christians when we have love one for another. And that is right through the book of Acts. You can get a team running through it. But what I observed clearly for the years of being in the pastorate, there is a kind of lip service religion out there. I call it a counterfeit religion. That is, they have a lot of religion in their talk, but they lack the genuineness of that religion in their heart. That's why some people say, see me, I ain't trust none of the church people. Because they meet up with those who have there's a talk, but they don't have the walk. You have to live something out here. And when Christ get a hold on a life, he changes you around for his good. And he sends you in this world to work for him. And therefore, you have to do his will and not your will. I can understand the hymn writer saying, thy way not mine, O Lord. However dark it be, but lead me by thine own hand. Choose thou a path for me. You meet too many talkers. Lip service. Talk. But no, they're not genuine at all. I remember many years ago, one of my members in the former church I was pastoring on Digger Martin side, she have a purse in a church and she's busy. She opened the church. Here's a nice young man, came all the way from St. Joseph to church. And he's early. She told me when she went to her bag and checked, she realized her money was missing. She said she didn't alarm the young man, she was quiet. But she's a kind of person that have a temper. So she said when she went back to the back and she composed herself, she came out to him gently and she roughed him. And she was a strong woman. And asked for her money. I don't know what else she told him, but she told me she roughed him. So I stayed there. He gave it up easily. I gave the money up. Look at it. You leave all this way, travel through Port of Spain, go on to Digger Martin, and then reach to the church. And your whole desire is to steal.